Alright, what's going on, you guys? Now I'm here, and today I'm bringing you a complete Element 3D motion tracking tutorial. I know there's a ton of these on YouTube already, but I just want to kind of sum up all of them, the basics and the advanced of the Element 3D. And I'm just going to, at the end of this, you're going to be able to get a nice track out. So in this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to do basic motion tracking, how to get your 3D scene set up, how to get the text you want, how to do the custom texture maps so you can get that environment, the reflections you want. And then after that, I'm going to go into things like shadows, how to do 3D logos, how to do like masking behind pulls, so like it looks like your text is really in the environment. So if you already know how to do the basic motion tracking stuff and you want to get into the more advanced stuff, there's annotations on the screen right now, so you can just skip to the part that you want to go to. Alright, let's get right into it with the basic motion tracking. Alright, so let's get right into the basic part of motion tracking. So what you first want to do is get your layer, get your cinematic, and I title the footage. You can title it whatever you want. You want to right click it, you want to click track camera. And this might take a while for you guys. It doesn't take super long, but I'll come back to you guys as soon as it's finished. Alright, now it's solving the camera, and just a few seconds now you should get a lot of points where you can actually motion track. There they are. So what you want to do is, like, you want to get an idea of where you want your text to be. You could have your text over here, you could have your text over here, but what I'm actually going to do is have my text right here because it's kind of in a centered place, and that's why I recommend having where you want your tracks. So you want to highlight all those points by just clicking and dragging, and you right click the giant circle that you made and say create null in camera. And now that you got that, just don't worry about the tracking. There's a few things that I like to get done before I actually start going into the Element 3D setting up. So what you want to do is, like, you see the footage that you have, you want to duplicate it by hitting Control D, and now there's two of those layers, and you want to rename that layer to environment. Hopefully I spelled that right. And delete 3D camera tracker off the environment part, and right click environment, time, freeze frame. Don't worry, you'll understand soon. So yeah, and then you want to, right now it just looks like a still image and you don't want that. So take the environment, take it off so that you can't see it by just clicking the little eyeball thing, and now it's gone, it's disappeared. And now what you want to do is you want to write like the words that you want your text to say. For me right now I'm just going to put nam. And just like the environment, you want to tick it off because you don't want to see it. You just need the actual like data for Element to recognize. So click Control Y to make solid and call your layer. I usually just say like whatever the actual font is, and then just make 3D. So then I know it's a 3D layer. And now you want to go to your effects and presets, type in Element. Those presets, don't do Element presets because I don't know what I was doing. That was when I first started. And I made a cool text, and I tried doing it again, but it messed up. So don't do presets with Element. You can use preset Bevels, but you won't understand for a bit. Alright, so drag Element onto the 3D layer, and then you want to go into custom layers, go to custom text and masks, and you want to click the nom layer, or whatever your font was. Just look for whatever it's called down there, and that's what you want to click up here. And nothing appears yet. Custom texture maps. That's maps or environment as I like to call it, and then just click your environment thing. Close that out, and then you can go into the scene setup. Click extrude, and there's your text. It looks very bland. We'll get into it, change up the custom layers. Right now I'm in the environment tab, and they already have like a bunch of preset environments, but the custom layer that we put in originally is now what your environment's going to be. So click that, you can see, like, you know, that's RAID, the map, that's the new map, that's the new environment. Click that, still nothing's changed. Then you want to get into adding materials. What I usually do is I add a bevel, double down, and is double down the one that I use? I don't know. You just mess around with it until you get a nice looking text. And that looks decent, but I think I'm just gonna, I have a preset. This is the one that I use all the time. I know. 200 likes on this and I'll release the bevel for free. But it is on my store for $5 if you just want to grab it now. It's not that expensive. It also comes with my render settings to make your things look neat. So there is my nom text. La la la. There it is. Beautiful. Click OK, you're done setting up your element 3D, and you'll see that it's motion tracked, but it's not in the spot that we want it. That's where the null, remember when we click this and it said create null on camera, the null comes to play. A null is basically a data set, and see it has all these positions, and it tells you basically where your text needs to be. So just go back to the element layer, click on group 1, go to particle replicator, and then on the null, this is position X, this is position Y, this is position Z. So just copy these onto here, and it'll give you a much better general idea of where your text should be. Now it's motion tracked there, but obviously the rotation's off, so right now what we're going to do is actually mess with the rotation. The null does come with a rotation, but I don't recommend doing that until you're getting into like motion tracking text on the ground with shadows, which I'll cover later in the tutorial. But for now, if you're just like motion tracking something in the air with reflections, you want to just do it on your own. And yeah, it takes a little while to get perfect, but you'll get it eventually. I don't know. But yeah, I'll come back to you guys after I straighten this text out and get it looking spiffy. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, it looks pretty good to me. Now, yeah, that's basically it if you want to do a basic motion track. There's other things that you can do, like to mess around with the text, to make the text bigger. You go into particle look, take particle size, you can bump it up, bump it down, whatever you want. And then if you want to get some weird rotation looks, you go into, I believe it's particle look. On a particle look, go into multi-object, enable multi-object, and then you can displace the text, make it like apart and stuff. That looks pretty cool. Rotation random, it makes the text rotate itself randomly. And you can also keyframe this stuff, so then it's like animated, like, I don't know, I'm just going to do something quick so I can show you guys, but I didn't really say I was going to go into this in the tutorial, but yeah. Basically you see the text moving because it's keyframed. But yeah, I don't really want any of that. I just want a clean, plain text. So make your rotation random. But yeah, if you want that, there's more tutorials. Just look up multi-object element. And yeah, now I'm going to get into how to motion track logos. So be right back. Alright guys, so now we're back in it with how to motion track logos. So I'm part of Dare right now, so what I'm going to do is motion track a Dare logo. So you probably want to bump up the scale on it, and you probably want to turn your resolution to full so you can see what you're doing. That's a weird Dare logo, so it's kind of hard to mask. I just type in fill logo, just throw on a fill onto it, make it whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter in the end. I'm just going to make it black. But yeah, okay, so here we go. What you want to first do before you even get the element ready, I'm assuming that since you skipped to this part or you just watched the part, you already know how to motion track. It's the same thing as motion tracking text to set up the actual motion tracking. So you want to take your logo and you want to mask it. You want to mask every single part of it, and obviously this is going to take a while, and I highly recommend that you take time with the mask or else it'll look really messed up. But yeah, just mask it like you'd be masking something regularly. Where'd it go? Oh, that was weird. And yeah, take your time with it, or else it'll turn out really edgy, if that makes sense. But yeah, right now, obviously this is going to take me like probably 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to speed this up right here. I don't know why it keeps glitching out, but yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. I highly recommend you mask your logo like this too. Alright, be right back. Let me pause it real quick. If you guys see what I just did, I kind of masked out the middle of it, and you don't want the middle of it, so just change your mask layer to subtract, and then you do the other parts like I'm going to do now. So yeah, let's get back into the speeding up. You can do multiple masks, it doesn't matter, you'll be fine. Alright, and go. And bam, I'm all done. That looks nice. Now to smooth it out, just click F on the layer. Brings up feathering. I usually change all this to 5, and that just smooths out all the edges. And now you're ready to motion track your logo. And I know it was a pain to do all that masking. I don't know why Element can't just recognize a PNG, but it's whatever. So now that you got an element masked out, you want to do the same thing that you did with text, and you don't want to see it. So click the eyeball to get rid of it. And now you want to create a new layer. Now I'm just going to put logo 3D. I can't even talk right now. Add element to the layer, and now it's basically the same thing that you did with text. Custom layers, custom text and masks. Go to your Dare logo or whatever logo you have, and it'll recognize all the masks on it. Go to custom texture maps, go to environment, close custom layers, scene setup, extrude. There's your logo. Looks kind of bad right now. Trust me, it looks better in the end. And presets, bevels. I'm just gonna throw on my custom bevel. Yeah, it kind of looks nasty right now, but whatever. For the tutorial's sake, I won't adjust it. I'm gonna motion track this to the floor actually, and I don't recommend doing floor motion tracks unless you do shadows. And shadows are coming up next, so stay tuned. So yep, if you want to motion track to the floor, definitely follow everything the null says. So copy all the null positions. Copy the null rotations. So click R on the null, get all that, open up rotation in the element, copy, and yeah, still definitely looks out of place. Probably want to change up the size by going to particle size, making it smaller. You might have to move it up with position Y. And yeah, you got yourself a motion tracked logo, has some reflections. And yeah, that's how you motion track logos, that's how you do logos in Element. And right now I'm just basically gonna get right into how to do shadows. Alright, so now that I got everything, I got this logo, I got everything motion tracked, now it's time to do a shadow on it. And shadows are actually really simple. There's like other ways to do them, but I'm just gonna do it my way. So duplicate the Element 3D logo and title this Shadow. You want to make sure to put it under the actual 3D logo. Now you want to go into the shadow and you want to go to scene setup and take the bevel scale and bump it all the way down to 0. And I know you probably don't even see anything, but right now if I turn this off, it's just like a really thin logo of what it used to be. But it's still like silver, it's still reflecting, so what you want to do is add a fill to it. Add a fill to the shadow. Shadows are black, so guess what you're going to make this? You're going to make it black, and I know it still looks disgusting. And this is how you make a shadow now. You go to fast, you type in fast, look for fast blur, put it on the shadow, and bump it up. And yeah, there's your shadow. And you probably have to adjust the position to like where the sun is, or wherever. And yeah, and if it's not dark enough, this is probably like not the best way to do it, but I just duplicate it. And yeah, shadow's dark. And you have yourself a nice motion tracked logo and shadow. Alright, so that's it on how now I've covered basic motion tracking, logos, and now shadows. Now I'm going to get into the last part. I'm going to need a different cinematic, so I'll be right back, and that's going to be doing like 3D layers or any kind of layers really that are motion tracked behind poles and like anything that you just need masking for. So be right back. Alright, this never went up on SOAR, but this is an episode I did for SOAR Scares, and this is the motion track. You can see like here's the regular text and there's that pole right there, and it looks like the text actually like is still behind the pole, so it looks pretty real. And basically what that all is just, where's that layer? See, if I didn't have these masks, it would look like that, and that doesn't look right. And that looks real. So what I'm basically going to do is show you guys how to do that. And I can't lie, this is a pain. I'm not going to show you guys how to do all of it. I'm not going to mask it all. but I'm basically going to show you the basics of how to do it, because this is the biggest pain in motion tracking, in my opinion. So what you want to do is find when the text goes behind your object. You want to duplicate the motion track layer, bring it all the way up top, call it mask. You don't want to see it right now, so you can see your text. And oh, I hate this so much. You want to take your pen, your masking tool, and basically mask the pole. And you have to do this for every single frame. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going so fast that really the human eye can't detect it. But if you want to make it the best you can, you go frame by frame. But what I do sometimes, I take the mask, I keyframe the mask path 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go 5 frames ahead, and I just move this on to here. You just want to keep matching the lines to the pole, and obviously this is definitely not correct right now. That's why you saw in the beginning of this I had like cut layers, because I had to redo the mask and then re-motion track it. It really is a pain, but it pays off because it does look nice. And if you turn back on the layer, you'll see that, yeah, right there it looks like it's behind it. Well, kind of. I did this really sloppily, really quick, but that's basically just the basics of how to mask out that. And that's the end of my complete Element 3D motion tracking tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, if this gets 200 likes, I'll release my custom bevel. It's not really anything special. It's a really nice looking bevel in my opinion. So if you guys want that, 200 likes on this, I'll give that away. Please leave a like anyway, because no, this took me a while. Recording issues and stuff. But yep, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.